Hello, everybody. I'm going to give everyone one more minute to join. I hope everyone is doing well. So I have to move some stuff around so I could see. Not see you guys. I wish I could see you guys, but so I can see what's in front of me. I'll give another 20 seconds to start, and we'll get started. I'll grab some water. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me live tonight. Does everyone have a lot of homework? Hopefully this is short, sweet, and fun, and engaging. All right, so let's get started. For those that don't know who I am Seiko Matsumura. I am a golf coach, and I focus on lowering scores for my students. Today, I'm going to share some interesting rules situations that are usually less typical. You don't usually see them, but they may come up in your round. I will provide you with the situation, what to do, and what the penalty is if there is a penalty. Most of these don't have penalties, so that's good. But if they do, you will know what the penalty is. My goal for you is to lower your scores. Not necessarily lower your scores by knowing the rules, but I guess in a sense, if you know the rules and you know the right penalties, your scores won't go up. And following the rules, your score will not go up either. So we want to prevent any extra strokes. And I want you to always think about what is the best place to move your ball, because yes, you can only move it one club length or sometimes two, but just remember you have the option of placing it in a better spot. Excuse me, kind of off topic, but that will still help you lower your strokes if you remember that you can place it in a better lie within the ruling in the situation, if that makes sense. All right. So before I start, I wanted to ask you a few questions. Do you know what to do if your ball is taken by a coyote or a dog? You guys can answer. Or what to do if your ball is resting on a rake in a bunker? If your answer is yes, great, but I want you to keep watching for more information on rules. But if not, don't worry, because I have been in your shoes before. That's why I brought some of those rules up. Some of our participants are asking like, what? I never heard that before. But anyway, yeah, I didn't know what the rule was until that happened. So I will talk more about that later. So I mentioned, sorry, forgive me. We will go over, sorry, lost my train of thought here. Before we go over the different rules and situations, I want to first go over some helpful tools and rule of thumbs that are going to help you remember the procedure, the rule, the procedure, and the penalty better, and create an easier way to look them up. So I'm going to talk about that right now. First, I want you guys to, if you weren't on the last webinar, the USJ, the United States Golf Association, they used to give out these rules of golf, the book, to players. But I'm not sure why they don't give them to players anymore and why they don't sell them at shops anymore. So it was really convenient to have. So what you're going to have to do instead is download the USJ app on your phone. Now, I haven't yet asked my local golf association if participants or golfers are allowed to use their phone to look up a rule. I'm pretty sure that you could do that because I don't know what else you can do unless you have an old rules book, but then they don't have the new rules that started in January of 2019. So I'm assuming yes, but I will definitely give you the answer by as soon as possible. I also want you to, this is not the app, but at least look through the table of contents. Let's see if there's a table of contents here. I think you can use a phone. Someone just asked if we can use a phone. I mean, that's the only way. There's another way, but I'm going to talk about it in 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so on the app right here, hopefully you can see this clearly. The glare. Oh, here we go. Oh, kind of bad glare. So on the app, sorry, I'm still trying to get used to. Anywho, at the very top, oh, there it is. There's my phone. Sorry, at the very top of the app, there's a section where you can search. And as long as you know kind of like the topic, then you can kind of see where to look it up. So as long as you know kind of the general rule, you could search it and get the procedure and the penalty if there is one. No, the reason why I recommend this is because you can look up rules faster. Okay. Number 3, utilize the tournament official. So there's usually, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 tournament officials out on the golf course while you're playing in tournaments. I mean, you have 3 when you play in training matches, but you can always flag down a rules official, and whatever they say is the rule. So whether you read it somewhere differently or if someone said something, the rules official is the absolute rule master for that event. So whatever he says and made you do, or she or he made you do, it goes. And you won't get extra penalty strokes if he did it wrong or if he made you do it wrong. Okay? Excuse me, my nose is running. Don't stress out if you don't know all the answers, because even, excuse me, touring professionals, LPGA and PGA professionals don't know all the rules. That's why they're always asking the rules official to come over. You can also review the other 2 rule webinars that we did within the last couple months. If you don't have them or if we didn't send them to you, let me know and I could send them over. There should also be very soon, if not now, an area where we uploaded all the videos. So you could look up anything and everything you want. Okay? As I mentioned before, it does pay off to know the rules, because then you have easier access, and then you don't have to delay the time on the golf course, delay play on the golf course. Pay attention tonight and take some notes. I think that's helpful. And a couple more things. It is your responsibility to know the rules. So let's say you're playing against someone that might have been playing longer than you, and they say, "Oh no, it's this way. I'm for sure it's this way." And if you play by that rule and they're wrong, there's no penalty on them. There's only a penalty on you. So make sure that you are familiar with where to look up the rule, how to look it up, and at least the general idea, because it's only going to help you. And you can help others too if you know the rule. So that's always a plus. I was looking over the rules today, the rules book. And excuse me one second, my nose is like really, sorry. That's so embarrassing. I don't know if you guys just saw that, but snot just came running down my nose. Oh my goodness. On live television. Sorry about that. That was really embarrassing. I'm good. Okay. So another thing that as I was looking through the rule book today, because like I said, I don't even know the rules, and I've been playing golf for like all the rules. Sorry, I know the general what to do, like how to look them up and the general idea. But oh my gosh, I now lost my train of thought. Sorry guys, this week has been a little bit nutty. My brain has I think I have brain fog where I can't think clearly. Oh yes, at the beginning of the book, they mentioned the standard of player conduct. These are common sense things. These are things that I share with, both Coach Aki and I share with our students. It's common sense, meaning you should already know this, but I do want to take the time to go over these so people that don't know or need a reminder are listening and really getting it into their system. Number one was be honest, have integrity. So that means even when nobody's looking, make sure you maybe tell your playing partner that you had a penalty. I think that happened to me in a tournament before. Actually, it was at Arroyo Bico, and I was playing against our chef. It was like our works tournament, and the chef of the golf course was on the other side of the hole, and I was in the bunker, and my club accidentally touched the sand behind the ball. So after I hit the ball, I told him, "Hey Jeff, I accidentally touched my club accidentally touched touched the sand, so add a 2-stroke penalty to my score." He's like, "Oh, cool. Thanks for letting me know." So you want to be honest. And plus, nobody wants to play with people that want to lower their scores on purpose. No one likes to play with a cheater. And people will find out if you're trying to cheat or trying to lower your score on purpose. So please be honest, and you'll be able to sleep better at night. You won't have that feeling in your gut that you did something wrong. So make sure that you be honest with yourself and with your playing partners, because then everyone will want to play with you. Also, show consideration for others, meaning examples are like take 1 or 2 practice swings, don't delay the pace of play, be respectful to them, say nice shot and things like that, because the nicer you are to other people, guess what? They're going to want to reciprocate. They're going to want to say, "Hey, Giselle, good job." I mean, I'm generally a kind and caring person, but when people try and go out of their way to help others or to celebrate someone else's victory with them, or maybe when someone's not playing their best round, don't be a punk and and maybe just say, hey, are you doing okay? And maybe you might not be able to help them right away with anything, but just telling someone, you know, asking them, are you okay? Or if they get down during the round. There's been many times when I played junior golf and I had friends bawling on the golf course. I remember when it was in a tournament, but excuse me, I just had played a tournament before, and excuse me, I didn't play very well, and I wanted to play another round, and I was just crying my eyes out, like lying on the ground, like bawling. So just remember that there's going to be times when you don't play your best, and there might be times of frustration, but do your best not to really show it like I did, and be respectful to your playing partners and your friends that are playing with you. Lastly, take good care of the golf course. There's a saying, leave the golf course better than you found it. So repair your divots. If you don't know how to do that, let me know. I can help you with that. Put sand in your divots. Repair your divots on the putting green and in the fairways. Even if you take a divot on the tee box, do try and if the divot flew away, try and grab it and replace it. Or if you're playing with your parents and you're in a golf cart, use the sand on the golf cart and replace it for the next person. Another one is rake the bunkers. That helps because you don't like people not raking their footprints and then your golf ball goes in there. That's like the worst. So always do your best to replace or rake your footprints or replace your divots, so then there's fewer chances of your ball going into there. Not guaranteed, but I believe in karma, so help out the golf course and it will help you. I really believe in that. Also help your partners in any way you can, because I have a story talking about showing consideration for others. Is on the golf course, the situation. One of Aki's friends, she was playing on tour. She was playing in a tournament event, or like a tournament, an LPGA event. She heard somebody, I think she was on the same hole, and there's a house on the golf course to the side, and she heard someone screaming for help. She jumped over a fence to save a kid's life from the kid was drowning in a pool. She jumped over and helped that person and saved his life. And I think they still keep in touch. I think it's like plenty years ago, like 30 plus years ago, but they still keep in touch and they're really good friends. And I mean, how cool is that story? And yeah, so just be honest, have integrity, be nice to others that you're playing with, and be nice to the golf course. Okay, so general rule of thumbs out there on the golf course with penalty strokes and some other things that I wrote down. If you're in a penalty area, which is, it used to be called like lateral hazards and regular water hazards that were defined by yellow and red stakes. If you don't know what stakes are, they're not like meat stakes, they're sticks basically. If you're in a penalty area, it's just a 1-stroke penalty. If you break a rule or take an unplayable in the bunker, for example, it's a 2-stroke penalty. And you get 2 club lengths from the unplayable in the bunker. Another example of breaking a rule would be like hitting from the wrong tee boxes. hitting in front of the tee boxes. What are some other ones? They changed so many rules. I don't remember what's what anymore. But those are the ones. Oh, another one is make sure you're, okay, if you are late to your tee time but come within 5 minutes, so let's say, for example, your tee time's 9 o'clock, but you get to your tee ready to play at 9:03, you can still play, but it's a 2-stroke penalty. 2-stroke penalty. Okay? All right, now for the rules. I hope you're still with me. Who's all with me? And I will answer any questions at the end if that's okay. I'm so sorry. I did not think I needed tissue today. Okay, so some of these rules are going to be interesting. You're going to probably laugh. Maybe you won't. But I try to come up with some ones that you may not have heard of before. So I try to be a little funny and silly. Okay. If your ball lands on a red ant hole, or if you stand on an ant hole, you do get free relief, meaning no penalty. Okay? The procedures. If you're standing on the red ant hole, or you might stand on the red ant hole, you can take a relief similar to the cart path relief. So you'll take your stance at your nearest point of relief, then do 1 club length from there. Okay? 1 club length from the new stance, the nearest point of relief, not closer to the hole. Set it up, 1 club length, put 2 tees on the side, and drop it knee height. No penalty. Also, if your ball is on the ant hole, or even if the ball goes into like a gopher hole, or is on a gopher hole, you can do the same thing. Yeah. This is called an abnormal condition on the golf course. And now, if your ball's on it, you find your nearest point of relief, no closer to the hole, so you can never go in front of where your ball was. That hence no closer to the hole. But you put your leave your ball where it is, take a tee, put it to the nearest point of relief, and then from there 1 club length. Same procedure. Drop your ball knee height, and then make sure it goes in there within the 1 club length, and it can go roll up to 2 club lengths behind. Okay. All right. So there is relief from the red ant hole. Luckily, I've never been in this kind of situation before, and hopefully you don't ever have to be, but it's okay because you get free relief. So remember that, free relief. Here's an interesting one. I think this happened in a PGA tournament. I forgot who it was with. It was, I think, either Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson. Their ball landed in a tree. It could have been someone else. I don't know why those two come up in my mind. But if your ball lands in a tree, unfortunately, there is a penalty, 2 strokes, because, I mean, unless you really want to try and climb up on the tree and hit from there. But most likely, people will hit an unplayable or take an unplayable relief. Before I forget, this kind of has something to do with this. I didn't think of it earlier, but now I remembered something. Our head professional at the golf course I'm working at currently, he was playing in a tournament. His son was caddying for him. His ball landed in a snake hole or some kind of hole. Now, you have to ask the person or the rules official for the official rule, because like for the red ant situation, it has to be a dangerous situation. Like someone just asked, what about regular ant hole? I don't think so. So just confirm with the rules committee. So anyway, Michael Block, our head professional, his shot went into a snake hole or something, some kind of hole, an animal hole. Well, see, never mind. I don't want to get you guys confused. But anyway, he went into animal hole. I think you get free relief, but I don't think in that situation. And his son grabbed his ball, eventually grabbed his ball, and was able to play it with free relief, I think. I don't know why. I don't want to confuse you guys. Anyway, just make sure that you ask the rules official about it. If you don't, there's a procedure called Rule 3-3 that I'm going to go over. So you could do, take your unplayable lie, the 3 options I'm going to give you, the unplayable lie relief, or you can see if it's an abnormal lie where you don't get a penalty. So I would just check on that. But anyway, I thought that was just interesting to share that his son actually grabbed the ball, and then I forgot what he had to do after that, whether it was a free relief or a penalty relief. Okay, anyway, if a ball's in a tree, you get 3 options. You can, with a 2-stroke penalty, you can re-hit from where you last hit it. Take 2 club lengths from your nearest point of relief, so it'd probably be right straight down from the tree, from that position from where your ball is, right straight down, put a tee there on the ground, and then 2 club lengths, no closer to the hole. Make sure you never put your ball closer to the hole, and then knee height, drop it. Make sure it can go more, it can't go more than 2 club lengths. And yeah, knee height. Lastly, the last option is draw a line from where your ball last crossed. No, I don't think you need to even do that. Sorry, you'll just take, you'll draw a line from where your ball is to the flag, and you can go as far back as you want. So if you're at 100 yards, but you like 125, you can go take it as far back as you want. Okay, so if you like that distance, you can take the 2 club lengths. Or if you don't like that distance, you can go as far back as you want, making sure that the ball and the flag is on the same line, going as far back as you want, or you can re-hit. Okay? Okay. Here is the next rule, embedded ball. Now, who has heard of an embedded ball? This could be on the green, or usually it's in an area where it's wet. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. There is no penalty for this, and I'm going to show you a diagram of what it looks like. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, because I didn't know how to draw this. I'm not very good at drawing. So here's a diagram of 2 examples of an embedded ball. So part of the ball that is pushed in its own pitch mark, that's one example. A ball is embedded if it's in its own pitch mark, as in the ground, and the ball's in where the ball hit the ground. So usually it's marked by, looks like a ball in the ground, basically. But if you're in that kind of situation, they're saying that you can take it out and there's no penalty. Now, a ball that is not embedded is this one. This one looks like it's just in high rough. So unfortunately, that is not a free relief, but these are. And then, like I said, that is allowed, the free relief is allowed on the green, and like in a wet area, and your procedure would be put the T where the, you don't even have to put the T there. Well, yeah, put a T just in case where the embedded mark is. Wipe your ball off if you want to. If it's like has dirt on it, you don't have to, but you can. No penalty. And take one club length, no closer to the hole, and then drop it with knee height. So remember, no penalty for an embedded ball. Remember, that's on the green and in the fairway fringe, anywhere like that. So make sure you don't hit it from there and take the free relief. So this might happen on the golf course when you're looking for your golf ball. Like in the bushes or in a penalty area or out of bounds. And maybe you might be using a, I don't know if you can see my hand this way. If you're using a club to kind of move like high rough or move branches and stuff, if your ball's accidentally moved with the club, just move it back. No penalty. So if you're like, oh my God, I accidentally hit my ball with the club, just remember to move it back and no penalty. Okay. Okay, so if you were familiar with the rules before 2019, before this year, there are some things that you couldn't do. So this is just to clarify that you can now do these things and there's no penalty. In penalty areas, remember, that's like anything marked with yellow or red. You could ground your club. You can take practice swings, even brushing the water or if there's any grass in those penalty areas. Take penalty area relief. So obviously you can always take your 2 club lanes or re-hit or draw a line from where your ball last crossed and go as far back as you want. Those we didn't go over this time, but that is mentioned in another previous webinar, rules webinar. You can touch the water, like I mentioned before, and then remove loose impediments. Does anyone know what loose impediments are? Let me know if you don't know what they are. So loose impediments are pebbles, leaves, sticks, and you can remove them. That's whatever's in your way of your swing. But if your ball's on it and if you're trying to take something out and you think it's going to move, don't move it. Otherwise, it's a 1-stroke penalty. And then you can always move your ball back. But if you don't move your ball back from after it being moved from like under a leaf or a stick or something, then it's a 2-stroke penalty. So just make sure that you're really careful in moving things around your ball, because if your ball's on top of it and your ball moves, there's penalties added to that. So remember, our whole goal for today's call is to keep your score as low as possible. Okay, so again, this is another just clarification between the old rules and the new rules. Repairing damage on the green. So before, you cannot repair spike marks. So spike marks are marks made by your shoes, like if you have golf shoes. And if you repaired it, it was a 2-stroke penalty. But now they're saying spike marks, animal damage, or any damage from a person or a ball can be repaired without penalty. Got it? So repair anything around your line or your ball, because it could hurt you. Sometimes, like, has anyone ever seen your ball kind of jump up because there's a little piece of grass sticking up? Well, and you didn't know that you could put it down? Well, yes, you can put it down. And if, there's anything around your ball or on the line, just tap it down with your putter. Yeah, you don't want that ball flying all the way up in the air and then not allowing it to go in the hole because it flew up so high. Okay, here's another one. If your ball hits you, your equipment, hopefully your ball never hits you, but sometimes, I've never seen it happen, but sometimes if you're trying to hit, you know, and prevent yourself from hitting a tree with your golf ball, sometimes it, you know, it can if you can accidentally hit it and then it can hit you. Or it can hit your golf bag, your partner, your caddy, or double hit, or you hit it twice. If any of those things happen, there used to be penalties for it, but now there's none. And just play where your ball comes to rest. There used to be, yeah, a penalty in hitting your equipment. So now there's no penalty. So that's good. Yeah, so be careful out there. Make sure that you're aware of where everyone's hitting from so you don't get hit, and then try not to have your ball hit you, okay? As silly as that sounds, but I'm being serious. Okay, search time. Does everyone, let me know if you know how long you have to look for a golf ball. Hint, it used to be 5 minutes, but now it's another time, so let me know. And if you go longer than the time that I tell you, or what the rule says, I believe it's a 2-stroke penalty, so please be careful. That's why a provisional ball, when you think you lost the ball, you're not sure where you hit it, a provisional ball comes in handy, so then you don't have to go find it and then have to come all the way back to the tee box, because it could be 225 yards or 300 yards. So depending on how far you hit your tee shots and how far the hole was. So that's why it's good to take a provisional ball, which means another ball that hasn't necessarily been the ball that you're going to hit now and finish the hole with, but it's a ball that, so you don't have to come all the way back and re-hit. Just kind of a extra thing with a provisional ball, if you don't know, you have to tell your playing partners that you're hitting a provisional ball and which ball you're playing. Otherwise that ball now becomes your original ball, even if you find the other one. So be careful. Anywho, just remember, you only have 3 minutes to find your golf ball. And if you go over that, it's a 2-stroke penalty. Okay? So remember that. We have a couple more, actually. Ooh, we may go over time. Okay. Who knows what to do if your ball comes to rest on a movable obstruction? For example, maybe a towel or a head cover. Anyone know that rule? Well, I'll tell you what the rule is. So if your ball comes on to rest on a movable obstruction, example for a towel, your relief is going to be right under the towel. So if this is your ball right here and here's the towel, you'll move the towel. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, it's the other way around. I'm such a dork. Okay, sorry. Here's my ball. You can just remove both, put a tee where you think the ball was going to be, and then 1 club length no closer to the hole. Does that make sense? So if you're hitting this way, here's the ball on top of the towel. You'll put a tee down and then take a 1 club drop, and then yeah, here's the ball, and you'll do 1 club length on either side. Okay, does that make sense? And then drop knee height. So no penalty if your ball comes to rest on a towel, head cover, or anything like that. No penalty. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so You might be asking why I'm sharing this with you, because you actually can have a caddy, not in any of our events that we put on, but there are some tournaments where, like USJ has tournaments where you can have a caddy, and that might be coming up shortly for any of you guys. So, or like a local fun event where you can have a caddy, you can have your mom or your dad come out and caddy for you. But what they can't do, they can give you advice. They can't, though, help with alignment. Excuse me. Let me elaborate. So if I'm setting up to the ball and my caddy's right behind me telling me where to aim, and they're there throughout my swing, that's not, you're not able to do that. Or telling me where to aim as I'm setting up, that's illegal now. They could watch you from the side and tell you kind of if you're aiming correctly, but they can't be right on the line of where you want your ball to go or on the line of the target. The rules did not say how many penalty strokes, but I'm assuming 2. Because remember, if you break a rule, it's a 2-stroke penalty. Also, this is kind of a random one, but I was reading it in case you were wondering. Let's say, for example, if you're taking relief from a penalty area, and let's say your ball hit a cart path and then went into the penalty area, or if your ball hit a tree and it really scuffed up your ball, you can use that same ball if you really, really want to, or you can change it before you drop the ball to take your penalty relief. Does that make sense? So you could change your ball before you proceed to relieve yourself from the penalty area. Okay? Because if you don't have to use a scuffed up ball, then you might as well use a nice clean one. So then your ball won't go offline. I'm not saying it can, but it may. Okay, here's rule 3-3. So this is this rule is called doubt as to procedure. Doubt as to procedure. Doubt as to proceed or doubt as to procedure. What if you're not sure what to do when you have conflicting rules procedures? So this goes back to when someone says, oh no, it's this way, and then but you really think it's this way, and let's say there's no rules official around. This is what you need to do. You need to hit 2 golf balls, one from the way you think it is, and maybe one where you where the other person thinks to play from. Make sure you tell the rules and then write both scores on the scorecard. Make sure you tell the rules official after you finish your round what happened, and then they'll let you know which one's the right score. Or if you didn't play the right way, you may have to go back, but I've never seen really that happen. But they will let you know which rules, procedure, and score was correct. Okay? Got it. Okay, in case anyone is wondering, the proper way to marking your ball. So if this is your ball and your marker's right behind it, I'm sorry. You always want to make sure that I'm such a dork. Okay, here's your ball. You want to make sure you mark it right behind the ball. And then once you're done, once it's your turn to hit, when you want to put your ball down, you want to make sure you put it down right where you had it before. So markers here. Your ball was here, you put it on a marker, now it's your turn to hit. You put your ball down right in front of the marker. Don't move it to the side of the marker, because if someone sees that, I don't know exactly what the score is. I think it might be 2 strokes. Yeah, don't put it on the sides. And what was the other one? Or go closer to the hole, because there is a penalty stroke. I believe it's 2, and because that's breaking a rule. And I don't know if you remember, who knows who Lexi Thompson is. She's an LPG tour player, and no one noticed it, I believe, during her round, but the camera or someone asked to do a replay after she finished her round. So, and they saw that her ball was moved and it wasn't in the right position. So I don't know exactly what happened to her. I think she may have gotten disqualified because she didn't put her rules down before the next hole, or she didn't have the right score down because she was supposed to get a 2-stroke penalty, something like that. And once you sign your scorecard, that means your round is over and complete and official. But I think it was just day 1 or day 2 or something. So it was before the last round. Anyways, just be careful where you put your ball. Make sure you always just put your ball back where it was. Right in front, okay? So you don't get any penalty strokes. Some of you guys most likely know this rule, and it's your intent was to hit the golf ball, but you missed it. So you probably have seen this while mentoring, or maybe when you were playing in your training matches, but or maybe accidentally did it before. That is a stroke penalty. That is a stroke, meaning they set it up, they hit the ball. Even if they miss the ball, it still counts. Or even if they whiff it, meaning they touch a part of it and the ball moves, that still counts. Because if the intention was to hit the ball at all, like setting up, for sure didn't look like a practice swing, they have to count that swing as a shot. Okay, this one's one that's, like I said, not typical, but it is interesting, so I wanted to bring it up. If your ball hits a telephone wire, or because there's golf courses that were made in fields that had wiring, so it's not wire on the ground. I don't even know if there's such a thing, but there's like telephone wire, big ones right in the middle of the fairway. If your ball hits that, you have to rehit, and the stroke does not count. So if your ball hits the electrical wire in the middle of the fairway, no penalty, and you must rehit. I don't know what the penalty is if you don't rehit, but maybe 2-stroke penalty. But yeah, you must rehit. That's what it says in the rules. Okay, I have a question for you, another question. Can a player test the greens between 2 holes? Can a player test the greens between 2 holes? Answer that one if you know. If you don't know, that's okay too. I will give you the answer. You can actually, let me just make sure I get this correct. Yes, you can actually test the greens, but not with the practice swing or with the practice stroke. So you can't hit putts on the practice green, but you can roll the ball with your hand on the green after you finish your shot. Please do not do this during your round or when you're on the putting green and your ball hasn't gone in the hole. Do this after you finish and after everyone's off the green and there's time. You can actually roll the ball with your hand or touch the surface with your hand. That's a interesting rule because I did not think you can do that. Now, in match play, do you guys remember what match play was? Hopefully you guys were there in the last webinar for rules. In match play, that's when you're playing against your opponent. As long as people aren't waiting behind you, you can practice with your putter on the putting green. but not in stroke play, not in any of the events that that we put on, or any events that are considered stroke play. In match play, yes. Stroke play, do not practice, okay, from anywhere. Okay, last but not least, ball moved by an animal. So let me tell you my story. 2 times this happened. So the first one was when I was in high school and I was playing a, I think it was like a Halloween glow-in-the-dark golf event. And my golf ball was glow-in-the-dark. I don't own a coyote, but a coyote just randomly saw my ball. I saw him pick it up. So the coyote had the glow-in-the-dark ball in his mouth, and he was running away. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Luckily, it wasn't some official event, but that happened. And then another time I was on the, I was playing in a qualifier in college, because the top, I don't know, certain amount of people could, if they shoot the top lowest scores, they can go to a tournament. That's how we, and sometimes it's like coaches pick. But I was setting up, I was super focused. I was like uber focused. And because I really wanted to play in the next event. And so my coach was there. One of my good friends was playing with me. And like I said, I was like super serious, like super uber focused. And a dog comes up and I'm like, okay. And I love dogs, but I was like trying to focus on my shot and my swing. And the dog was just hanging out. And then I was like, okay. And then he grabbed my ball off the tee. And I was like, oh my goodness. And he grabbed it and was trying to like move with it. And I was like, oh no. So I don't know exactly what happened. Maybe the owner came and the dog dropped the ball, or I was eventually able to have the dog drop the ball. But luckily I didn't swing and hit yet. The ball was just resting on the tee. So, so what you need to do if either of those cases happen, I think it also happened in a PGA Tour event where a bird picked up a ball at Pebble Beach with a PGA Tour professionals ball. Basically, if that ever happens and the bird moves it or the animal moves it somewhere, just make sure that you bring it back to the original place. And of course, there's no penalty, so you don't have to worry about that. But I thought those were funny to share, and that you guys had to wait till the very end to know the answer. So yes, those are all the rules that I have for today. Hopefully that was fun and interesting. And now I will go over any questions. So I was wondering if you guys could see each other, what you guys write. So let me go back and answer some of the questions that you guys told me. And then you can also, after I answer those questions, you can ask me any questions. If you hit from a bunker 2 times and then take it out, would the third stroke be a penalty, or is it a 2-stroke penalty? Okay, so just know that that rule is with us. If that ever happens in high school or in another local event, like what the person that's asking me, your teammate has been playing in some of these. So just know that no, that only happens when you're with us and from 100 yards and in. So 150 or 25 yards. But once you get to 150, you have to continue to hit all those shots from the bunker. Does that make sense? Okay, so yeah, I already answered about the regular anthole. It has to be a dangerous animal. A snake or an alligator. If you're standing, if your ball lands on an alligator, I don't know, things happen, right? Or if your ball's laying next to an alligator, yes, you can move it, no penalty. And I told you the procedure. 1 clump length, no closer to the hole. Okay, what other ones? Oh, someone asked, what if I hit my caddy and she faints? Is that no penalty? Yeah, no penalty, but I don't even know if you can have a backup caddy. We got to check on that. So hopefully that never happens, like I said. Okay, someone wrote, once I found a girl cheating, she put the mark down way forward. She looked around to see if anyone was looking. The person that wrote this didn't speak up and she made a birdie. Oh no. Yeah, so just make sure that you tell that person to move it back if they're trying to cheat by moving it forward. So someone asked, if you accidentally step on somebody's ball on the green and it's embedded in the ground, do you get a penalty? No. Just remove the, actually put a T near it, near the embedded mark, repair the mark, and then you have to put the ball right on top of the embedded, where the original ball was embedded. But you can fix it, clean it up, and then you just got to make sure you put it back, and then put the marker there so you know exactly where to put it. Yeah, there's no penalty if your caddy faints. That's not your fault or the caddy's fault, really. You just got to be careful. Yeah, so for the person that asked, if you accidentally step on somebody's ball and embed it in the ground, no penalty. You just put a marker down where the embedded pitch mark is, fix it up, pat it down. You can clean your ball if you want to, and then put it back up. Okay, anybody else have any questions? I'll give you guys 5 seconds. No other questions? Did anyone learn any new rule procedures or rulings today? Oh, good. Good. Yay, I'm so glad everyone learned a lot. Good. Okay, last call for, yes. Someone asked if they can have a copy of this. Of course. Just if you can have yourself email us to remind us to send it over, of course. And then you may want to have the other ones. Do you guys want the other ones? Let me know if you guys want the other ones, because I don't know if you guys were on there. Maybe you were. I don't remember. There were some other ones that you may have missed, other rule webinars. There's been 3 altogether. I've done 2. Coach Aki's done 1. This is my second one. I've done one before, so you should have seen 3 rules webinars. Email me, please, for the person that just said they'll text me. Okay, that sounds good for the person that just wrote me. Okay, any other questions for me? Any other rules that you don't know that I can answer? This is the time. You can always ask me during class or email me or text me or anything. Okay then, well, you guys have a great rest of your day and make sure you're safe out there. That's number 1. Number 2, have fun, be respectful to your playing partners, be honest, take good care of the golf course you played. It is a privilege to play at such great courses here or anywhere you get to play. Like I said, just make sure you go over the table of contents on the USJ app, or even, it's so easy now. Now you can just search the rule and just say like embedded lie or embedded ball or lost ball, unplayable lie. What happens if you hit somebody? Hopefully you don't. So yeah, you can search any of those on the USJ app. be familiar with that app, so then when you're on the golf course playing in a tournament, or anytime you want to know the rules, you're not holding up your group or holding up the people behind you. Yes, because if you know at least some of the procedures or know how to look up the rules, then and the rulings and the penalty, then someone can't say add 2-stroke penalty for that when really it's a 1-stroke or there's no penalty at all. And remember, it's your responsibility. So I hope you took great notes, and you remember the tools that I've showed you so you can keep your score as low as possible, because that's what we want. And that's going to help you with everything: confidence, winning, playing well for your team in high school or college. So like I said, if you have any other questions, let me know. Shoot me a text, email me, or catch me during class. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great one. Thank you.